Right, only 3 presenters left now. I'd like to welcome to the stage Tora Srinivasan. Thank you. Tora is a lecturer in biomedical science at Teesside University, where she studied fruit flies to help understand Parkinson's disease better. She also looks at the molecular mechanisms to understand the diseases better, which allows for designing new therapies. Interesting fact about Tora, she has used fruit flies at universities for classes and research on and off for over 30 years. So a big round of applause for Tora.
Hi everyone, I hope everybody's enjoying the talks today as much as I am, because they've been really great. Has anyone ever had an infestation of fruit flies? Either in their bins or rotten fruit? Well, these fruit flies, not the big house flies, but the fruit flies, the tiny little ones that you get infestations of, are what I study. Now, why would I study them? How does that make sense? They're pests, right? Well, how much of their DNA, genome, do you think, how similar is it to ours? Everyone raise their hand if they think the fruit fly's genome is less than 50% similar to ours. Okay? Now raise your hand if you think the fruit fly's genome is more than 50% similar to ours. Oh, some clever people here. So yes, actually, the fruit fly's genome is about 60% similar to ours, which is quite surprising, I would think. And I mean, it just means life on Earth is all very related. And also, if you look at human disease-causing genes, actually 75% of them are also found in flies. So what does that mean? It means that people like me and people for well over 100 years can use fruit flies to understand human disease better. I'm particularly using fruit flies to study Parkinson's disease. People with Parkinson's disease usually don't have mutations in genes that cause it, but sometimes they do. And when they looked at these mutations in the fruit flies, it found that they have the same genes, and when you mutate them, they have symptoms that are similar to patients. So patients with Parkinson's disease can't move very well, and patients with Parkinson's disease have brain cells that die over time. And this is what we find in the flies. The flies with Parkinson's disease mutations don't move very well, and the same kind of brain cells die over time. So what I did was I took mutations in other genes that we thought might be involved in Parkinson's disease, but we didn't know for sure, and crossed them to the flies with the Parkinson's mutations, and then looked at the next generation to see if they moved better or worse. Most of the flies moved worse or about the same, which taught us what genes might be involved in Parkinson's disease. But there was one gene that the flies actually did better. So we're hoping that sometime in the future, flies are different from humans, that this might lead to some kind of a therapy. Thank you very much. Sorry, I've also got a bit of a cold. My voice is gone.
Thanks, Tora. I remember well when I worked in the lab that the fruit flies used to get into everybody's labs, so I know exactly what you mean about infestations. Could you just tell us a little bit more about how this can help, perhaps lead to new therapies and treatments for Parkinson's disease? What might that look like if you were to fast forward to the future?
Sure. So the mutation is in a particular mitochondrial gene. And you wouldn't think something that makes mitochondrial work maybe worse would help with Parkinson's symptoms. So it was really quite a surprise when we found this result, but I've just recently double confirmed it, so I'm very excited about it. The idea is to look maybe in human cells that are a model for Parkinson's disease, see if we can kind of decrease the amount of the gene and also decrease the ones that did worse, and see what effects they have on the cell models, the human cell models of Parkinson's disease. But, you know, it's a new target for drug therapeutics that's never been found before, but there's a lot of work to go from, you know, this particular research into something that might work for humans.
Thanks, Tora. Sounds really promising.
Thank you.